Episode 2. Before Eason could respond, Cora added, "When Mia asked you out in college, you told me you'd rather die than go out with her. What made you change your mind?" "Cora, you bitch." Mia nearly shrieked. Eason quickly stepped in. "I never said such a thing. If you're pissed, don't take it out on Mia. It's not her fault." Eason also became defensive, but it was unknown if he was defending Mia or if he was simply embarrassed. "I didn't know you'd be so rude, and here I thought you were a proper lady." Lydia felt insulted as well, so she also spoke up. She was mocking Cora for being two-faced. Cora understood what Lydia meant. She quickly retorted back, "At least I'm not the one whoring out my son for business benefit." Lydia was so angry that she stamped her feet. "What are you talking about? Mia and Eason are good for each other." Cora gave a cold snort. "Yeah, right. Then why didn't Eason agree to go out with her back in college? No one here is stupid. Do I really need to spell it out?" Mia was shaking with anger. She raised her hand to slap Cora. But just then, a man's dignified voice came over. "Stop." When Cora looked up in shock, she saw that Byron was standing right behind her. He was wearing a tailored black suit, and his height and legs were stunning. At this time, the three others also saw Byron. Especially Mia. She couldn't hide the amazement in her eyes. "Byron, this girl is Eason's ex-girlfriend. She tried to borrow money from Eason, but seeing that they couldn't get back together, she insulted us." What a terrible person. Lydia was the first to come back to her senses. The first thing she did was slander Cora. Although Eason felt sorry for Cora, he had no intention of trying to stand up for Cora at all. He thought that Cora was too arrogant, so it was good to let Byron teach her how to behave. Cora had thought that Byron would take Lydia's side. They were family after all. She was ready to face backlash from Byron, but to her surprise he said, "So, that's an excuse to hit Cora?" This time, it wasn't just Cora who was stunned. Even Lydia and Eason looked at Byron in surprise. They hadn't expected him to take her side. Considering that Lydia was much older than Byron, it would be a little embarrassing for her to apologize to her younger brother, so Eason could only take the initiative to speak up for his mother. "Uncle, you're right. I'm sorry. Getting physical is never okay. I'm not the one you should apologize to." The moment Byron's voice fell, Eason and Cora's expressions turned even uglier. Did Byron mean that they should apologize to Cora? Cora was a nobody now. It would be degrading to apologize to her, but then again, Byron was standing right there. When Eason and Lydia were hesitating over what to do, Cora spoke up first. "There is no need to apologize, because I won't accept it. Let's take this opportunity to make everything clear." Eason and Cora locked eyes when Cora said this. "Eason, just like you wanted, our engagement is over. Just so we're clear, the feeling is mutual." There was a hint of indifference in her soft tone, which made Eason feel uneasy in his chest, as if he really lost Cora forever. "Cora, come on, dash." Eason reached out his hand instinctively, but Cora didn't give him a chance to finish his sentence. She turned around and left the Patton mansion with her head held high. Byron was glancing at Cora's back when Lydia's voice rang out. "Byron, don't let these irrelevant people affect our mood. I've asked the chef to prepare." But before she could finish, Byron said, "I have to be somewhere, let's talk later." "But Brian, the factory." Lydia wanted to pull two of the Hanson family's production lines to the Patton family to work on, so she called Byron over. "We can table that discussion." Byron didn't hesitate. After saying that, he strode away. Lydia could only curse under her breath. "It's all that bitch's fault. If it weren't for her, I would have brought those two production lines over today." However, Eason was still staring in the direction in which Cora had left, ignoring Lydia's curses. As for Mia, she had forgotten about everything already since she laid eyes on Byron Hanson. She had thought that Eason's appearance was already top-notch. She did not expect his uncle to be even more handsome. She was still thinking about how good-looking Byron was that she didn't hear a single word Lydia said. After leaving the Patton family's home, Cora walked aimlessly on the street, thinking about where she could find a large sum of money for her mother's treatment. A tire screech pulled her out of her train of thought. To Cora's surprise, Byron Hanson's Rolls-Royce Phantom pulled up next to her. He rolled down the window and looked at her. Get in the car. Without hesitation, she opened the door on the other side and got in. Soon, the car started again. Cora saw that Byron was still holding a document in his hand with a focused expression. Cora didn't know if she should say something or stay quiet to not bother him. Unexpectedly, he took the initiative to ask, "Are you short of money?" Cora was stunned for a moment and did not think there was anything to hide. "Yes, I am." "How much do you need?" "More than 50K. Byron took out his checkbook, wrote a string of numbers on a check, and handed it to Cora. Cora looked at the check for 100K and pushed it back to him after hesitating for a while. "I can't accept this." Other than last night, they've never spoken to each other. They are practically strangers. If she took his money now, it'd make her feel like he's only giving it to her for sex. Byron seemed very surprised by her refusal. He stared at the check for a few seconds before taking it back. Cora then asked, "But maybe you can give me some advice? Do you know how I can make some cash fast?" Byron looked at her with a half smile. "All the ways to make fast cash are written in the law books." Cora smiled awkwardly and said, "Right. If she went to jail, her mother's treatment fees would be even more of a problem." Just as Cora was regretting rejecting the money, Byron suddenly asked, "What if I get you a job?" "Okay, but I have to work in the hospital Monday to Friday. Can you give me a part-time gig?" "The lounge we were at last night. Go to Spire 73 to work in the evening," he said. At nightfall, in Spire 73, the favorite leisure and entertainment place of the rich young men in the city. "Byron, how does it feel to be harassed by your nephew's fiancée?" Byron's good friend, Harry, was wearing a flowery shirt, drinking and chatting with him. Byron knew that Harry was referring to Cora. He took a sip of wine and said, "Engagement is off." "What fiancé?" "That's true, and damn. That Cora Lane, she's really something. Rarely do I see a girl with a good face, big breasts, and a fat ass. I bet a lot of people would want to tap that now that she's single." Words travel fast, especially in the rich crowd. By now, everyone knew about Cora Lane's fall from grace and that her engagement with Eason Patton was over. When Harry said, "I bet a lot of people would want to tap that," he was specifically looking at Byron. He had exactly 3 hickeys on his neck. Yesterday, he had organized a party for Byron to appear in Spire 73. That was why when Byron left Spire 73 with Cora, Harry had seen the entire thing. Even though he was grabbing the ass of a Russian model, he saw from the corner of his eyes how Byron took Cora's hand and headed towards the elevators. They were both adults. It was easy to know what would happen after they left the bar together. Harry nudged Byron. "So, how does it feel to sleep with the same girl your nephew slept with?" Byron glared at Harry. "Who says my nephew slept with her?" Harry's jaws hit the floor. He edged even closer. "No fucking way." They were engaged, though. Byron ignored Harry, but the more Byron ignored him, the more interested he became. "Come on. Man, talk to me. How was it?"
Full story is available at novelpalace.com. Click the link in the comment section to get it free.